What's up, gang? It's Garage Goons, the most trash show on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I'm your boy Tyler. And today we have an actual review. Exactly a month ago, I did a first impressions and unboxing of my MK1 Select Velcro boxing gloves. So let's get into the review. All right, so when I first tested these out, I did get some knuckle fatigue. The padding was on the very more stiff side, but I am so surprised by how well these things have softened up in a positive way. It isn't a softening in a mushy way or a spongy way. It's a softening, and they're a little bit more springy, and there's a little bit just more give when you first make contact with these. I love these gloves, and these are starting to, I can't, like, if you were to ask me a month ago, what's my favorite gloves to train in, whether it's sparring, bag work, hitting the mitts, whatever, I would have told you. If you look up on my dryer, you can probably see my lime green hit moves up there. Those would be hands down my favorite. These are slowly becoming my favorite gloves to use, and there's a couple reasons. I'll get into it. One of them is these gloves are encouraging me to use different kinds of punches. What do I mean? I have been working the vertical jab a lot lately and splitting guards. The profile of this glove, especially this way, is super thin. So if you think about throwing a normal jab, right? Or a normal straight, okay? You take your glove, right? You're in your high guard or your open guard or your long guard, whatever guard, Philly shell, whatever you like to fight out of, and you're here and you throw and you turn it over. The glove side to side, profile wise, is still a compact glove, but I would say it's a little bit wider than it actually looks in real life. Like, you put it on, you're like, wow, this thing is so streamlined and slim. But actually, if you put it next to like my hit moves or my fighting freedoms or whatever, they're about the same width. However, when you turn your glove this way, this width, when you have a vertical fist here, is so much more slimline, low profile, and it sneaks through. I'm having a lot of success sneaking that jab through guards. I've been working a lot, jab low to the body, come up high here with the vertical jab, okay? That Mexican Nacho Beristain style jab, okay? The comfort on these has only gotten better. I love the thumb on these out of the box. They feel even more comfortable now. These are my favorite gloves for thumb. The wrist support, I would say, if I had to not make one knock on these gloves, it's not bad wrist support at all, right? It's not, but I can push it back with relative ease. It does hold its form. If you were to hold it by the wrist, right? Okay. It doesn't sag too much. You can see a little bit of sag, like that's a perfect straight. Here's a little bit of sag. No sag this way. That's what you really want. You don't want your glove bending back on you, because this is where the wrist injuries happen a lot, okay? Usually, if your knuckles come down, you're supposed to throw with your knuckles pointing down a little bit anyways, okay? So you can hit with those top two knuckles, okay? But these do, they're not the greatest I have used. I would say both of my other gloves offer better wrist support, period. But they're not bad wrist support. If on this, I'm not going to do a scale 1 to 10, but if I was going to give these a grade, I would give them a B. Not a B plus, not a B minus, just a B. It does the job, okay? But if you have weak wrists, or if you've had chronic wrist injuries that keep reoccurring, these might not be the gloves I would recommend off the bat for you. And a lot of this stuff going on here, the stitching across the top of the Velcro here, you won't run into a lot of the same issues if you go lace up. I'm a Muay Thai guy, and I come from an MMA background, so I got used to Velcro. I've always used Velcro. I've gotten comfortable with Velcro. It's fucking easy, convenient, and when it's done right, there's just nothing better to me than Velcro. Obviously, the wrist support on lace-ups is always going to be better than Velcro, but it's not to say this is bad. It's a nice slim fist compartment. Width-wise, you get some good room. So for those of you guys that have fat short hands, you know, like fat sausage, wide mitt, baseball mitt type hands, these are going to work just fine for you. I would say I have pretty big hands and my fingers are at the very bottom of the fist compartment. They're comfortable for me, but if my fingers were, say, I don't know, an inch longer, I could see that being a problem for some of you. And these are the 16 ounces. So these are, I don't think they make 18s. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe this is the largest size they go. So if you're a big dude and you have long basketball players, you know, seamstress fingers, that might not be, you know, the best thing for you. They still smell great. I just cleaned them yesterday because I trained yesterday. I always try to clean my gloves after training. Very rare when I forget to do that, or I'm too tired or lazy to do that. But sometimes I don't clean them right after training. But cleaned these yesterday. They have been great. I know this review is a month in, and not everything can be exposed a month in. As you, if you watched my Hit and Move a year later review, you saw that the Velcro is kind of starting to fail and starting to flake and becoming really, really weak. It's still working, but it's not working the way it was when I bought it. So obviously not everything can be exposed a month in, but I strongly feel with how many rounds I spar every week, how much pads I smash, how much bags I hit, that I have a good sense of these gloves now and how they're going to feel long term. I feel like they've softened. Like 2 weeks in, they softened up and they basically stayed that same level the whole time to their true feel, okay? It's, you know, if you watch other channels, I've seen other guys do reviews and they call them pillow gloves. I wouldn't classify these as a pillow. I wouldn't classify them as a puncher. I would say it's a pillow puncher hybrid, meaning that there is some nice soft cushion like a pillow in here, but there's also still that springiness underneath. So the top is a very soft, supple, squishy foam, and then underneath you get that nice spring back. You get that nice springy foam, so it gives you good feedback all around. Is it the most protection over your knuckles? No, but it's sufficient. It's again, if we are prioritizing knuckle protection, I would say this is about a B. But if you're a guy that likes to sink your knuckles into your shots a little bit and get that feedback, you don't have hand problems, you don't have knuckle problems, you know, as far as on the puncher's glove scale, this is absolutely an A. This is absolutely great feedback. Only got knuckle fatigue the first few times I smashed the bag with them before they softened up and it felt like they were a little bit more like just stiff, hard foam on my hands. But as of right now, man, these things are beautiful. Already starting to get scuffs on here because these are black and some of my students like to rock the white gloves. So I'm getting, you know, I got a little paint on the wrist cuff here. I got a little paint on the wrist cuff here, you know. But, you know, overall, these are great looking gloves. And I love the simplicity of this glove. They have the MK1 logo here, okay, on the back side of the wrist, or of the fist, I should say. And then on the front of your finger compartment, you have another MK1 right here. These are the select, so these are the higher level gloves. These are the nicest ones they make currently. There's only 2 gloves that they make that I know of, and 4 if you consider Velcro and lace up to be 2 different gloves. But the select is the one I have, which is the higher level. And last I checked, they were going for $150. I absolutely, when I first made the video, I said, I don't know, because I got that knuckle fatigue, but I definitely think these are worth $150. High quality leather. It's more of a satin finish leather. It's a very shiny leather. You know, it's got a nice shimmer to it, and it's very smooth, very silky smooth. But it doesn't feel, it doesn't feel cheap, and it doesn't feel like top grain leather, which is, not to get confused with how top grain sounds like a top grain, you know, product. But top grain leather is the cheapest, most outer layer of the animal's hide, and this doesn't feel like top grain leather, okay? This feels more supple. This feels like it has more body and it has more durability to it. It's not gonna start cracking so easily and start getting brittle and crispy so easily, okay? One thing that's also happened, out of the box, these were nice to open. Now they're even fucking nicer to open. I mean, let's take a look. Boom. Easy. Zero, minimal effort. Okay, minimal effort to do this, and it's like a complete 90-degree angle. Some guys are like, look, it opens nice, and they open like this. It's like, well, now you have to get over shots. If I open all the way up, all I have to do is keep my hands in front of me, and I'm pairing those shots. So that's really nice. The grip bar, I really like this grip bar. It goes all the way across. A lot of gloves get cheap with their grip bars, and they stop it somewhere around here. All of my fingers are covered by this grip bar here. It's a medium-sized grip bar. It feels like a squishy piece of rolled foam, maybe like an EVA type foam in there. Really nice. All the stitching so far, again, this is a month in, guys, so I'm sure maybe like a year from now there might be some fraying. But as of right now, double stitching everywhere except for along here. That's a single stitch on the piping that goes over the thumb compartment, and single stitching here on the back side of the thumb. But everything else is double stitched, and there are no stitches coming out anywhere. Great glove. I wish that they did put finger holes, air holes underneath, like on the palm side here. That would be nice. They do have some over the thumb, but I feel like most people want to keep their hands cool more than anything. So I feel like that's an easy improvement that they could make if they wanted to. Really good feedback on the bag. My sparring partners never complain about how these ones feel. Even like right out of the case, they're like, oh yeah, those don't feel like you've got rocks on your hands, which a lot of times if you bust out brand new gloves and you haven't smashed the bag first and you just take them into sparring day one, they don't get those kind of reviews. These ones, like I said, a week or two in, broken immediately, and they're really nice. So the other thing that I've really liked as well is that when I make a fist, see how the thumb, it doesn't pull the thumb in. The thumb kind of stays in its place. You can still kind of move the thumb a little bit. You're not going to thumb anyone in the eye. You have that nice attachment. But the attachment gives you just enough room to where when you make a fist, your thumb isn't getting pulled too tight. But it's not so much room with this grip, this attachment here, to where your thumb is floating around poking people in the eye or whatever. And I have not jammed my thumb once in these gloves, and the one punch I always got to work on is my check hook and my right hook, because sometimes I won't turn them all the way over or put my fist down. I'm a hook like this guy. I'm not a coffee mug guy. I don't know. But yeah, so sometimes in other gloves in the past I have jammed my thumb. In this one, just the hand ergonomics and the way they set up the thumb to the fist, it's like a smooth transition. It's almost like a winning style transition. And, the Velcro is really great. One underrated thing that I didn't know why they did it until like after the fact is they have this like honeycomb material on the bottom side of the wrist bar, or the Velcro strap here, wrist strap. And it actually does a pretty good job of biting down on the leather. So it's not just like you're pulling it in, it's also biting down a little bit more than just a smooth leather on leather transition, right? Like most gloves have. So when I lock this in, okay, I can move my wrist forward, get a good tie plum if I want. I'm a Muay Thai guy, so I don't necessarily want to feel like my hands are in a cast when I'm fighting. And like I said, I can push this back, but it requires a little bit of effort. But, there are better options for wrist protection out there. I measured these when I first bought them. They were 15.6 and 15.7, and they're advertised on the tag as 16 ounces. So, they're a little small, but over time, what people don't realize is that sweat accumulates, even if you wash them, even if you let them dry out and air out when you're done, or put them on boot warmers like I do sometimes. Some of that sweat and salts and stuff like that is going to get inside this glove permanently, and there's nothing you can do about it. Obviously, you got to clean your stuff all the time, but that will add over time weight to your gloves. So these should be close to a true 16 ounce probably by the end of the year. But these are great gloves. Great leather smell. I love the way they smell. Great grip bar. Can't say enough good things about them. They're not perfect. Like I said, I would make this. For me, it's perfect. But if they're trying to appeal to maximize the most amount of people, the biggest audience, I would say probably make a little bit of a deeper hand compartment here for fingers because mine are right on the edge. You can see, you know, maybe you can see side by side, but when I'm making a fist here, my fingers are right in line with the bottom of this fist compartment. So it's perfect for me, but you might have bigger hands than me. I don't know. I haven't measured my hands, but you know, like I could show you again next to my Roku remote here, just to give you an idea, or whatever, my remote control, that I have pretty big long hands. So you might be a bigger guy than me. I'm not the biggest guy in my gym. I'm one of the big guys, but I'm not the biggest guy. And some other people might feel like it should be a little bit longer in the front, but I think it's fucking fantastic. The feedback, again, phenomenal. The inside is this nice, smooth tricot liner, zero bunching. It's not silky. You can still feel a little bit of the fibers in there, but it's so smooth and pleasant to put your hand in there. Nice padding all the way through. On the back of the wrist, you get about a 1/2 inch of padding on the inside, and then hard, stiff padding behind that. And then on the back side of the glove, you get about 2 inches of padding, and then you get this nice half moon bar for that extra wrist support. The other thing I would change is, I don't know if you could see, but the meat of my hand, where my thumb fat or whatever that part of my hand is called, is where this elastic band is. I would either move it down here or cut this hole higher up into the palm and move it across my palm, because right over the meat fat, I don't know why I keep saying the most disgusting things to describe that. This part of my hand, I would move it either up here or down here. I don't like that it's right over there. I don't feel it when I train, but I just think it's going to stretch out faster, and it's not locking my hand in as good as it could as if it went under. You know what I mean? So that's one small gripe I have. But I mean, outside of that, these gloves are fucking badass, dude. I love these gloves, especially to sparring. I would say for the bag, I still probably like my hit moves a little more, but I think for sparring, these are taking the cake. And because the padding all over the wrist is not so tall like my hit moves or my really tall ones in the fighting freedoms I have, it's forcing me not to be lazy with my hands and come down here and just rely on my big puffy gloves to protect me. I have to keep my hands a little higher. I have to be more active with my hands, with my parries and my slips and my dips, ducks, dives, and dodges, right? So they keep me honest a little bit more. But again, this is an offensive glove. If you're looking for an offensive glove, you're tired of catching other gloves, getting your punches redirected. Obviously, 99% of that's going to be a form thing, but that 1% where maybe if you had a little bit of a smaller, more slimline offensive glove, you can sneak that vertical jab in there. You can take better angles. It's not going to get caught on stuff as much. It's not going to get parried or deflected as much. These ones are the way to go, and I think it's worth every penny. So, yeah, these are my MK1 Selects, okay? Velcro 16-ounce gloves, and also on the strap you get that MK1 Select. Stay tuned, guys. Thank you for watching the most trash show on YouTube. I have Fly Super Loop X gloves coming in, 16-ounce red. Okay, so if you're interested in what flies are like, I'm gonna probably keep those for a couple of weeks. I got them gently used on Mercari. They said they only hit 10 rounds on the bag, which who knows, right? But they don't have any scuffs. They don't have any marks. From all the pictures I could see, they look like they still are brand new, and he even has the box that they came in with the Fly drawstring bag. So those are coming in. If you want to see a review on those, stay tuned. That's coming. I got more fragrance stuff coming, and yeah, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching the most trash show on YouTube, Garage Goons. I'm your boy Tyler, and we are out of this bitch.